Ever seen a Hollywood star transform from gleaming icon to full-blown controversy magnet? That's Blake Lively in a nutshell. Once America's sweetheart, now caught in a storm of alleged racism, scandalous legal brawls, and furious social media takedowns. How did she go from red carpet royalty to a headline free-for-all? Stick around because we're tearing the lid off a tale of meteoric fame undone by one explosive revelation after another. This is the rise and shocking fall of Blake Lively. Before tabloids documented glossy images of her at fashion events, Blake Lively was simply a bright child growing up in a showbiz-inclined family. In many ways, Hollywood was her playground. Born into an acting lineage, her father was an actor, and several siblings also dabbled in the industry, Lively initially seemed destined for the spotlight. Friends recall she was that enthusiastic kid who believed success was just around the corner. She'd sometimes tag along to her parents' acting classes, soaking in the subtle craft of turning words into magic. Yet for all her sunshine, there was a real ambition behind the blue-eyed smile. Her earliest roles, including a small part in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, showcased her eagerness to excel. Audiences remember how easily she fit the role of the laid-back athletic teenager. But none of that could predict the juggernaut she'd soon become. If you looked closely, there were already glimpses of an intense drive. A performer hungry not just for recognition, but for a grand, unstoppable career. It wasn't all smooth sailing. Some early audition rejections nearly derailed her hopes. She confessed once in an interview that she was terrified of being a flop, overshadowed by siblings who had carved out acting success. But that fear almost certainly fueled her unstoppable momentum. Of course, the real rocket fuel arrived when she landed a part that would reshape her entire public persona and transform her into a face recognized worldwide. But what happened when the sweet taste of stardom collided with hidden insecurities? That's the next chapter in this twisting saga, and it would begin with a type of global fame few teenagers ever handle gracefully. For many, Blake Lively is practically synonymous with Gossip Girl. In 2007, she stepped into the role of Serena van der Woodsen, an impossibly glamorous New York socialite whose secrets fueled high school scandals. Practically overnight, Lively went from a promising up-and-comer to an international sensation. Fans devoured every storyline, from her character's dramatic romances to her enviable wardrobe. Off-screen, viewers became equally transfixed by Lively's real-life style and persona. Social media, though not as dominant then as it is now, played a substantial role in cultivating her star power. Fan pages on early platforms celebrated her sleek hair flips, her rumored relationships, and her dynamic chemistry with co-star Penn Badgley. Suddenly, tabloids clamored for any detail about Lively's life, her diet, her dating habits, even her day-to-day errands. She had become the reigning it girl of young Hollywood, so the pressure to maintain that near-perfect facade must have been immense. Behind the shining veneer, rumors suggested not everyone on set was best friends. Some whispered about alleged friction, though specifics remained hazy, but the public rarely glimpsed any sign of cracks. Lively's image was a well-tended garden of positivity. Red carpet appearances always polished, interviews carefully curated. Each new project only extended her reach, whether it was a teen rom-com or a big-screen thriller. Audiences adored her for seeming effortlessly friendly, someone who could charm even the harshest critics with a simple smile. Yet, the golden glow of Gossip Girl also overshadowed the complicated reality of stardom. Lively teased in several interviews that the role was both a blessing and a weight on her shoulders. She never outright complained. After all, Gossip Girl rocketed her career. But she did hint at feeling pressured to preserve a certain image. Meanwhile, the world only saw a blonde bombshell whose life appeared heartbreakingly charmed. Top-rated TV show, budding film roles, adoring fans, no controversies in sight. At least, that's how it looked from the outside, but stardom inevitably collides with reality, and Lively's personal life soon began to shape that reality in unexpected, sometimes ill-fated ways. We move to that turning point next, where a wedding meant to be romantic triggered a wave of condemnation and set the stage for deeper critiques about race, privilege, and accountability. As gossip sites breathlessly documented her dating life, Blake Lively's romance with Ryan Reynolds quickly became tabloid gold. Two attractive, quick-witted stars stepping out together was a dream come true for Hollywood watchers. The couple exuded effortless chemistry, poking fun at each other on social media and giving fans comedic glimpses into their world. So their eventual wedding in 2012 was no surprise. However, the location they chose blindsided many. Years later, the couple said "I do" at Boone Hall Plantation in South Carolina, an estate that once relied on enslaved labor, and the backlash was enormous. At the time, few mainstream outlets questioned it. Glossy photos of a picturesque Southern celebration took center stage. But in the years to come, public awareness of racial inequalities skyrocketed, and so did condemnation of the lively Reynolds wedding choice. Words like tone deaf bounced all over Twitter. People demanded an apology, calling the location a reminder of a painful history. Critics also pointed out how continuing to celebrate at such sites can glamorize or minimize the brutal damage. Tied to that legacy, caught off guard, the couple eventually issued a statement of regret, with Reynolds labeling the decision a giant fuck-up. He explained how the venue had seemed enchanting on Pinterest, never imagining the deeper significance. Online critics, though, fired back. Many argued it's everyone's responsibility to self-educate, especially those with massive wealth and influence. In short, the plantation wedding fiasco was the first loud alarm that Lively's brand wasn't unassailable. Though overshadowed for a time by other celebrity news, the controversy continued simmering, fueling critical discussions on race and privilege. The next time critics looked for signs of racism or insensitivity in Lively's portfolio, they wouldn't have to dig too far. Because soon, an even older scandal reemerged, and it sparked a storm of renewed outrage. Social media thrives on, dredging up old interviews, and in Blake Lively's case, it uncovered a moment that set the internet ablaze. In an early 2000s clip alongside some co-stars, Lively casually described wearing heavy bronzer and a scary spice-inspired fro during her teenage years. She framed it like a silly anecdote. She claimed it was all part of an attempt to seem more mysterious to a crush, but contemporary Twitter users had a far harsher word for it: blackface. In no time, the clip went viral, with thousands of tweets condemning her past behavior. Cancelled, racist, and disgusting were just some of the words that trended alongside her name. "Has no one told her she's done?" wrote one commenter, capturing the avalanche of negativity. Some fans defended Lively, arguing she was discussing a teenage mistake. Others insisted it was inexcusable, made worse by a pattern that included her plantation wedding. Even references to her husband's prior apology found their way into the fray as critics asked, "Do these two just not see racial issues?" Public statements from Lively's camp were conspicuously absent. Judging by the swirling fury, it's clear advisors scrambled behind the scenes, debating whether an apology would help or further inflame the situation. Meanwhile, mainstream media outlets highlighted the tension between her squeaky clean image and these controversies. The star who once seemed almost universally adored was now front and center in discussions about potential racism and cultural insensitivity. Between the persistent plantation wedding reminders and the jolting blackface accusations, Lively's golden aura began corroding. The rage on Twitter and Instagram was intense. Some vowed never to watch her films again, proposing a wide-scale boycott. Others insisted she needed to reflect deeply, issuing a better, more focused apology. Either way, the incident laid bare the fragility of a once unshakable brand, foreshadowing that new tribulations would test her capacity to navigate public condemnation. Little did anyone know, the real storm was only brewing. Her next major project, and the behind-the-scenes chaos that came with it, would spark allegations far beyond social media missteps. If the controversy stopped at social media outrage, maybe Blake Lively could have salvaged her public favor with time and carefully worded apologies. But the saga took an explosive turn when she joined the adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel It Ends With Us. Co-starring and directed by Justin Baldoni, the production initially promised to be a blockbuster success. Instead, it became ground zero for an avalanche of lawsuits, allegations, and reputational damage on all sides. Lively shocked fans in December 2024 by filing a complaint accusing Baldoni of sexual harassment and orchestrating a smear campaign. She claimed that during filming, Baldoni had made her deeply uncomfortable by referencing porn, crossing boundaries, and fueling a hostile environment. The allegations also suggested that once she complained, an organized PR effort was launched to bury her credibility, allegedly hiring or encouraging crisis consultants to seed negative stories about her on social media. Baldoni's reaction was swift, vehemently denying wrongdoing. He fired back with a defamation countersuit citing attempts by Lively and her team to sabotage his reputation instead, alleging she manipulated partial truths to gain public sympathy. Soon, the entire production was overshadowed by accusations, depositions, and a swirl of media coverage. Some of the film's staff insisted Lively was difficult on set, while others took her side, painting Baldoni as a manipulative figure. Then came an onslaught of ominous text leaks, half-minute video clips, and cryptic emails. Lively alleged one video segment depicted Baldoni leaning in and making suggestive comments she found inappropriate. Baldoni's team publicly shared a different snippet, claiming it showed flirtatious banter, not harassment. Both sides turned to social media, mainstream press, and fan communities to spin the narrative their way. Eager spectators on Twitter dissected every scrap of evidence. Some insisted the footage definitely proved her claims, while others demanded to see the context. Meanwhile, a handful of fans tried to remain neutral, stating the entire debacle reeked of deeper Hollywood drama. The situation devolved further when Lively's name popped up in lawsuits from crisis PR specialists, claiming defamation, alleging they were wrongly accused of orchestrating smear campaigns. What did all these lawsuits accomplish? If anything, they kicked off a feeding frenzy among internet users, many of whom found Lively's downfall ironically tragic. The actress had once dedicated significant time to curating an image of approachable sophistication, a comedic but classy figure on social media, a proud mother, a supportive partner. Now, that brand was overshadowed by tabloid-style drama reminiscent of daytime soap operas. Although the film eventually reached theaters, overshadowed by scandal, the public's attention remained glued to the nasty behind-the-scenes fight rather than the storyline on screen. But the avalanche didn't end with legal briefs and headline-blaring accusations. Lively was about to face a fresh wave of condemnation as she committed a perceived blunder that left countless fans outraged, and it happened right when she needed support the most. Just when you think an embattled celebrity might lie low, Blake Lively found herself back in the public eye, this time for promoting her role in the film Another Simple Favor, alongside Anna Kendrick. Under normal circumstances, any actor would be thrilled to share updates on an anticipated project. But timing can be everything in Hollywood, and many saw Lively's promotional push as impossibly poor timing. Social media lit up when Prime Video posted about the film on Instagram, tagging a 37-year-old Lively who was still deep in a legal swirl and facing a seeming ocean of negativity. The comment section exploded. "Has no one told her she's canceled?" demanded one user. Another chimed in, "Weird timing to promote this movie." Others argued that they felt sorry for Anna Kendrick, forced to share the stage with a co-star, whose controversies might overshadow the entire production. Could Lively's involvement damage the film's success? Some people proclaimed they would boycott the movie entirely, calling Lively beyond redemption. On the flip side, a contingent of supporters, Team Blake, rose up in her defense. They argued that no single event erases an entire career, that everyone deserves a second chance, and that we don't have complete facts about the lawsuits. Director Paul Feig took to social media at one point to praise Lively, describing her as nothing but supportive, but many found his remarks unconvincing, dismissing them as standard PR talk. And so the swirl of negativity grew. Meanwhile, fans routinely scoured Lively's Instagram, searching for any statement about the controversies. Some were disappointed by what they saw as deflection or total silence, fueling the notion that she wasn't facing accountability. In a matter of weeks, the narrative escalated from routine film promo to an ethical debate on whether Lively's alleged actions, from decades-old blackface stories to recent lawsuits, make her untouchable. Eager paparazzi snapped pictures of her out in public, capturing a star who looked uncharacteristically tense. Once again, the actress's new project was overshadowed by discussions about scandal, overshadowing even the film's marketing strategies. All of this begs the question, can Blake Lively's bright star power survive such unrelenting storms of controversy? Or is the question irrelevant because a scandal-hungry media and public rarely permit genuine second chances? Just when tabloid chatter seemed to hit a fever pitch, a new rumor blindsided everyone. Whispers that Blake Lively might have cheated on Ryan Reynolds. The internet latched onto vague social media hints, unverified insider testimonials, and a handful of cryptic tweets that ignited speculation about her private life. Some claimed she'd been spotted sneaking around with a rumored co-star, while others insisted it was all fabricated clickbait. Critics seized on the story, arguing it fit the pattern of a star whose perfect facade kept unraveling. Meanwhile, fans loyal to the couple labeled the cheating talk as baseless gossip designed to tear down one of Hollywood's most beloved power pairs. Without hard proof, the rumor remains just that, a rumor, but it's yet another storm cloud in the already turbulent sky over Blake Lively's once flawless image. So, after being slammed by alleged racism claims, pummeled by legal showdowns with co-stars, and roasted in countless social media takedowns, is Blake Lively really standing at the edge of oblivion or on the brink of a blockbuster comeback? Once hailed as Hollywood royalty with her golden smile and enviable family life, she's now on the receiving end of some of the most brutal controversies in recent memory. Some say a massive studio push, carefully orchestrated apologies, and a splashy new project could still restore her shine. Others argue the damage is too deep, pointing to relentless lawsuits and fan skepticism that grows louder with every headline. In an era dominated by cancel culture and viral outrage, redemption isn't guaranteed, especially when each misstep spawns a new wave of online fury. The coming months will decide whether Blake Lively can pull off a sensational second act, or if she'll fade into a cautionary footnote in Hollywood's scandal-packed archives. Let us know what you think in the comments. Will she bounce back stronger than ever, or is her star power crushed for good? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more explosive deep dives into the biggest celebrity victories and catastrophes.